Round 3 of the Democratic presidential debates will be coming to Texas. Houston will host 2 nights of debates on September 12th and 13th. But they could trim it to just 1 debate night if fewer candidates make the cut. The Democratic Party made it harder for candidates to qualify for the Houston debates. They need to score at least 2% in 4 polls. Candidates also need at least 130,000 donors. According to Politico, only 5 candidates currently have both benchmarks: Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. In 2016, National Democrats did not put many resources into Texas. That's changing. The results from the last election showed the opportunities for Democrats to make gains. In 2016, just 37% of voters statewide cast ballots for Democrats running for Congress. Republican candidates polled in more than 57% of that vote. The GOP took 25 of 36 seats in Texas has in Congress. But last election, Democratic candidates polled in 47% of the vote, dramatically closing the gap with Republicans. The party gained 2 seats in Congress. This time, they hope to do even better, and that has Republicans adjusting their strategy. For perspective, I spoke with George See. He's the chairman of Annandale Capital. That's a money management company, and he's played key roles in 2 presidential campaigns. In 2012, he was Rick Perry's finance chair, and in 2016, he served as Marco Rubio's senior advisor. See is now on the board of the Associated Republicans of Texas, a fundraising group for GOP candidates. I asked him about the changing political landscape in Texas and got his perspective on the outlook for Republicans and Democrats.
In 2014, Greg Abbott won by 20 points, and now statewide Republicans are winning by 2.5. What happened from 20 to 2.5?
Well, that's an excellent question, and the wind's blowing the other direction. And if you go back to the 1970s, the wind started blowing heavily towards Republicans. And when we elected the first Republican governor since Reconstruction in 1978, that started an irreversible trend, because Texas has been an overwhelmingly conservative state forever. And it used to be just the Democrats were conservative, and now they're not. So the trend is narrowing because the demographics are changing. And currently, Hispanics vote around 60 to 70% for Democrats, and the magic number is about 40%. If Republicans can win over 40% of the Hispanic vote, they stay in power statewide pretty much forever. If they earn the votes of significantly less than that, not so much. They're going to start losing some races. And I think the major tightening in some of the statewide offices, though, is not just the demographic change. I think it was the policy initiatives coming out of Austin. I think a lot of people looked at what the Republican legislature, Republican infrastructure, statewide leaders were doing and saying, and they thought, these things have nothing to do with me. I want better roads. I want more jobs. I want better schools. And so I think it was a bit of a protest vote. I think a lot of people either stayed home or voted for the Democrat because they didn't like what they were seeing. And I think in this legislative session this past year, you saw a counter trend in that among Republicans. They got pragmatic and realized, let's do some blocking and tackling kind of issues that people care about. Property tax reform, more money to schools, infrastructure, and I think it's been effective. I think it'll help in the next election.
What were some of those warning signs that you think flew people into the Democratic Party?
Well, I would say that there's a lot of circular firing squads being formed in the Republican Party, and it echoes the liberal-conservative split among Democrats in the 60s and 70s, where they formed circular firing squads. The incumbent governor in 1978, Dolph Briscoe, lost his primary race to the liberal Attorney General John Hill, and that created great fracturing within the party. So I think a lot of this tipping into more independent voters and even voting for Democrat candidates is based on people getting tired of watching people fight over things they don't really care about. And Republicans have been doing a lot of intra-party squabbling lately, and they've pretty much shut that down, and that's a credit to the governor and the lieutenant governor and the new speaker, Dennis Bonham. They did a good job of unity and focusing on issues more people care about. And Democrats are hungry. They smell blood. They see the wind blowing the other direction, and they're dumping huge resources in Texas. You look at Representative O'Rourke's campaign, where I believe he spent $83 million. That's unheard of for a Texas Senate race, and he outspent Senator Cruz over 2-to-1. And all the money in Texas, which is a Republican money pit, it's where all the Republicans get out their bucket and scoop money and go out of state and spend it someplace else. People are waking up to the fact that we've got to spend money right here at home if we're going to not see the government turn over and turn purple and maybe turn blue someday.
For somebody who watches this and has no idea how that fundraising world works, What exactly happens? You know, so how does ART raise money for somebody who doesn't know? This is a political show, but you know, we're trying to educate how the system works.
Yeah, I think most Americans have a severe aversion to political finance. They just have a negative reaction to it, and I totally relate to that. I've been raising money for public servants, for elected officials for too long now. I've toned it down somewhat, but I hate doing it because it's really hard work and it's unpleasant because you deal with an awful lot of people with agendas. I like to do it. This sounds like a cliche, but I'm patriotic. I love my country, so I want to see people of integrity go into public service. But in terms of the process itself, it's just grind, grind, grind. And the way ART came back from an almost defunct organization to one that spends millions of dollars every election cycle it's almost a business case. You go to people who are leaders in the civic and business and philanthropic communities in Texas, and you make a case that what ART is doing matters, and it's good for Texas, and it's good for good government going forward, and to keep our business community strong and our economy sound and our families with food on the table and a good quality of life, and people respond to that. And one thing that a lot of people don't like about Texas fundraising is you can put unlimited funds into Texas. There aren't hard caps like there are in U.S. Senate elections or congressional elections. So people with resources can write pretty significant checks to push that around the right way, and we can all have a debate about whether that's good for the Republic or not. You can make an argument it's not very good for the Republic, but that's the system we live in today.
Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Remembering a Texas icon.
Number one, I will not run as either a Democrat or a Republican because I will not sell out to anybody but to the American people.
His presidential campaigns gave Ross Perot national attention, but it's the things he did before those campaigns that changed this state.